welcome to Real Talk. This podcast is brought to you by the Youth Advisory Committee of CLO. For those of you who are new here, my name is Rashia, and I am one of the hosts of this amazing podcast. So, this specific podcast aims to discuss about high school life, community, inclusivity, and issues students face, and ways we can make school a better place. We will also be discussing about mental health challenges faced by high school students and healthy strategies to cope with them. So I hope you enjoyed today's episode. And on that note, I'm going to introduce our two amazing guests for today, Kaylee and Tanushri.
Hello. I guess I'll start first. I'm an 11th grader. Um, I mean, I like to do all sorts of things. That's why I'm here as a part of the Youth Advisory Committee. Um, I just like to uh try out all sorts of hobbies and I like to learn. So I wouldn't say that I have any like major hobbies. Um, I mean, I've started running recently and I found that very rewarding. So I guess I could mention that. Um, And then another thing I could say is that I'm not overly social. And I like to keep to myself usually because I think it's more peaceful.
Thank you, Kaylee.
And hi, I'm I'm Tanusri. I'm in 10th grade. Recently, I've started volunteering a lot to get more volunteer hours for school, obviously. But I've started at a retirement home and it's kind of been the highlight of my week. I love walking there after school and hanging out with all the people there. I run games and I give them manicures. It's all really fun.
That's amazing, especially the manicures. I love
Mhm.
that. Okay, now a bit about your school and like involvement in YAC. I'll add a few points about this as well myself.
Okay. I guess I could say about my school first is that like notable things is like our broad range of courses. Like we have all sorts of like levels of courses that meet people where they're at, like
Mhm.
university or college, like mixed and everyday and locally developed. Um, we also have like requirements about like volunteer hours. Um, and I feel like overall, our teachers do a really good job at our school, and they're very helpful too. So a lot of students will start their own clubs with teachers helping out. It's a really nice environment.
Mhm. Our school has a wide variety of programs offered too. We have a lot of SHISM courses. We have a French immersion program that Kaylee and I are in, and we have we're having more ASL levels introduced as courses, and we have SHISM too, which is very nice. And another thing is we have this one program where if you take a skilled trade course all 4 years of high school, you'll get like your red seal in it without having to go to trade school or anything, which is
Ooh.
super nice.
I guess more so about myself and my interests. I'm very interested in healthcare and language learning. Like as Tanushree said, I'm in French immersion. But I'm also very interested in like the English language and American Sign Language as well. I find that really fun. Um, But I've been really slacking on my language learning because I'm very occupied by my physics course. It's 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 definitely the most difficult course I'm in. But it's very rewarding to see those like real life things that I'm learning about like forces, for example.
Totally. I remember physics. It was a hard course for me. But yes, a bit about our involvements in YAC as well. So I'll start with mine. I've been a member of YAC for the past 3 years, and this year I am so proud to say that I'm the co-chair. I absolutely love the position and leading the meetings. I feel like it's an amazing leadership opportunity for me to learn and overall just working on projects like the podcast project. And you guys can share about your involvements as well.
I joined the Yak like almost 3 years ago. It really helped me get out of my comfort zone and like meet people who I would have never met. Um, But I would like to say, like, before we move on, Tanushree, would you like to talk more about your interests?
Sure. Um, like at school, I'm trying to get into law some more, but I'm not sure what courses to take. So that's been a challenge. I've been trying to get away from math. I don't want to do math. And I'm also going for my red seal in cosmetology.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I love all of these like skills and like interests you guys are talking about. So a bit about how we all met through the YAC. Honestly, it was so amazing for me to meet more high school students. Already, the YAC committee is so inclusive, so amazing. But just like finding people like your like specific age group, it was amazing.
I joined Yak this year through Kaylee. Which was really nice. I've loved meeting all the different type of people here and like learning about their experiences and
Hmm.
what they do in their daily life. It's been like really nice seeing people like all across Ontario and learning about their day-to-day life and how it differs from mine.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'm really glad that I could invite you to the youth advisory committee. It was like perfect timing. We actually had a class together. It's called an MSIP. It's this type of spare where everybody goes to a classroom and we all do work. And it's like multi-grade because Tanushree is actually a year younger than me. And we sat beside each other and we just started talking. It was great.
I love that. Okay, so since we're talking like the main point of this podcast is to focus on high schools. My first kind of like question is what makes each of your high school communities unique in your opinion?
Um, we go to the same school, but I guess like in our own communities, she knows more people than I do. Um, yeah, like I said, I like to keep to myself. Although, I do like to pop in and out of clubs.
Mhm. I take a wide variety of courses like cosmetology, drama, all the sciences, whatnot. So I do meet a wide variety of people, and like I try to talk to the more like-minded people, you know. And then like I pulled them into the club I started, Equity, and then I just
Oh,
introduce everyone there.
I love that you started the Equity Club. I think later on, I have a question that will be perfect for you to talk about that.
Ooh, okay.
But yes, how do you think schools can encourage more participation and inclusion?
Um, I mean, we have like a lot of clubs and a lot of sports teams. I believe that we actually have over 20 sports teams.
Whoa.
Um, but one like potential problem is that not very many students get to participate in this type of stuff because while we have over 20 sports teams, we have like maybe at most five like activity clubs. For example, the fitness club running at break
Hmm.
where students can actually participate in those sort of team building things. Yeah, just because like all of our sports clubs are like tryouts. And for like maybe a student who's a little bit less athletic or a student with a physical disability, it can be really hard to participate in clubs. Um,
No, for sure.
There.
On that note, I just want to share, so I'm part of the Thames Valley District School Board, TVDSB, and we do have a Special Olympics, that happens every year right after the track and field season. And I definitely feel like more school boards and more schools across Ontario should like expand on that because before Special Olympics happens at my school we have like a tiny pep rally for them as well. So I feel like more schools across Ontario, across Canada should definitely take on that practice as it's like an amazing day, an amazing time of the year.
Oh, I've really liked the little pep rally thing too. That seems like really nice and really like encouraging for those people
Yes.
participating. And also like going on like from the workout club, there has been like a badminton club, volleyball intramurals, and maybe a spike ball club introduced at our school too, but the sign up process is like much different. You have to go online, you have to get your parents to sign a bunch of waivers to be able to participate. It's just a
Yes.
bunch of extra stuff compared to the normal things, and might like deter people from wanting to participate.
For sure.
Definitely. I'd like to interrupt and kind of talk about like encouraging more participation and inclusion in clubs. I've seen like that there are many people who would be willing to join clubs, but the problem is that they have to give up their break. People have to choose between seeing their friends and eating or meeting new people.
Yes.
Um, because when you go to clubs, it is like kind of like work. Um we have lots of advocacy clubs and we make things and we work on things individually. And I feel like if we fostered more social interaction within our clubs and not just working independently, then more people would be encouraged to join.
That's some great points.
Like having more people come out to the clubs, you'd be able to have that more community like environment because those clubs, they still need to get their jobs done, right? They're there
Mhm.
for a reason. So, like with more people there, you'll be able to get more work done while having the community aspect to it.
Yeah, and I feel like there's this kind of like stereotype with clubs that it's just like you're like doing work with like a certain group of people, but no, it's more of a community, like you all have similar interests and you're doing it for fun. So I think we should really like focus on the fun part of clubs as well and just make it more inclusive for everyone. Moving forward, if we could like discuss some examples about disabilities, cultural differences, mental health stigma, or lack of representation and how that really affects high school students in feeling accepted and included.
Okay, I have something pretty big to say about mental health, and it's kind of like indicative of how far we've come with advocacy, but maybe some steps that we should continue to take. And Tanushree should correct me if I'm wrong, but I'd like to say that I don't think mental health stigma is a large problem for youth anymore compared to what it used to be. Mental health is very talked about now, and I think that the way we as students address mental health, can sometimes, though, cause larger problems for ourselves. As a high schooler, I feel like I can name an equal amount of students who've publicly struggled with negative coping mechanisms as people who haven't.
Moving forward, how do you guys think that students in schools can work together to create a more inclusive environment?
Um, I mean, just to like find a solution as to what we were just talking about, we could create a safer community by having more workshops and lessons on healthy coping mechanisms, and teaching people about like negative thinking traps, um, so that people can actually learn that, hey, doing bad things to yourself, doing bad things to other people isn't right or acceptable, and that we should find ways to recover and take care of ourselves. Um, I would also say that these types of events could help with inclusivity, though, because it would give students a chance to learn more deeply about themselves and about others.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and like create more of a community environment, which is what I feel like we were talking about in clubs as well. Like it needs to be more of a community. I feel like high school nowadays is like very much like cliques. Like everyone has their own group, but it should be more
Mhm.
of, like we're all here together, studying together. So yes.
I think another way that schools can work together to get a safer place for everyone is to have few designated people for students to be able to talk to about what they have been experiencing and feeling. And like those people could be like trained professionals, like counselors or whatever, and they can suggest tools to healthier tools to the kids that they can use. And like also during more stressful times, like exam weeks or culminating events, uh, the schools could like start pushing more resources at that time since this kids will be more stressed at that time and they'll be like, oh, I don't want to deal with the stress. The schools have been pushing this. I should probably go use this. And they'll just feel more inclined to, you know, act
Yeah.
out and
About that topic, it made me think about last year at my school. It was before the exams in June, so right before the summer break. Our school, like our social justice club, got therapy dogs, and like it was like a small event in our gym, and like students, like groups of five, like maybe you and your friends, you can go in to that gym and you can like play and interact with the dogs. And it was such a wonderful idea. Everyone enjoyed it. So yeah.
I would love that so much. That should be like an actual movement is like no, genuinely. Just to summarize, I think that so far we've talked about like making clubs more inclusive. Um, we've talked about having more supports, and we've also talked about like ourselves as students trying to encourage our peers to be safer and receive help. And I think that those are the main things that we can do to create a more inclusive environment.
For sure, yes.
Mhm.
I think we already kind of touched on this, but what are some common mental health challenges students face? I think, in my opinion, the biggest one is academic pressure, and both from peers and parents.
Yeah, a lot of people have high expectations put on them by like others or themselves. So like if they get a grade that's or like a feedback that's below subpar for them, they might like cause them to stress out and be like, "Oh, I got one of these. I'm going to get more," and just spiral down that rabbit hole.
Mm-hmm.
I know that we have options like tutoring and I know that teachers for students with disabilities are very good at respecting IEPs. Um but maybe something that we should put more emphasis into is helping students who feel like intimidated by receiving help from guidance or resource. Because I know that that's another challenge is actually going to see guidance and resource.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like there's like stigma on like resource and guidance. Like
Mhm.
guidance, like if you're struggling, only then you go to them. Like no, they're regular teachers and they're here to help us. You know, whether it's for a small thing like should I take this course? Should I not take this course? The guidance and like resource departments of schools, they're here for us. And I feel like during assemblies and stuff, maybe even the start of the year assembly, where usually like schools introduce teachers and like communities, they should introduce like the guidance and resource department as well, so that it isn't like stigmatized anymore. Like only if you're having a big issue you go to them. Like they're here for us, like every day, small issues. So moving forward, how do social expectations or comparisons affect mental health?
So, kids with learning disabilities are like sometimes automatically expected to perform worse academically. So they're like the teachers or their like parents or peers push them away from taking more challenging courses that they would want to take, like biology, and just say, "Oh, you can't really do that." But even though if they put their mind to it, they definitely can.
Yeah. I feel like a lot of the times there's like a set path like built for you, and it's like you have to do this because like this is how you are, so you're gonna do this. If you're not smart, you're gonna do this. And I feel like
Mm.
that's not true. Like everyone should be allowed to like, try things that they like and are passionate about because like you said, if they really want to do it, they can work towards it and actually succeed and achieve it. What are some like healthy coping strategies such as like journaling, exercise, taking breaks, water? Drinking water is the one that I find very helpful. Talking to trusted adults, mindfulness, etc.
Yeah, no, totally. I like all of those, like especially my favorite out of those options was mindfulness, but drinking water is also really good for you. I have like I actually thought about this a bit and I have a bit of a like related idea. Because like coping mechanisms are like reactive, right? But I think that there's ways to um prevent like these sort of stressful situations like altogether. Um like for example, if somebody is in distress because they were put into a situation that made them feel embarrassed or ashamed, like such as a presentation, this can be prevented because our bodies trust our experience. If we expose ourselves to like things that cause those sort of emotional responses, like in safe environments, then we can learn just how much we are capable of. Like, if somebody who feels afraid of presentations practices them enough, their body will learn that they aren't in danger anymore and won't trigger the same type of negative response. I
That's
don't know.
amazing. I actually haven't
Mhm.
thought of that before. So, yeah,
I
that's a
think
very
that's
cool
true.
idea. Yeah, and I feel like you said earlier, the main thing for that is that they must know that they're in a safe space. And it once again all spirals back to everything we were talking about earlier. But yes, how can we normalize talking about mental health in schools?
All I have to say is that I think that half of the battle is over. People are talking about mental health in all of their social groups with their friends. And we just have to put in the energy towards making this change positive.
Like I mentioned before, I think having some designated people would really, really help. Since if the students go talk to their experiences with them, they can get pushed to having to getting more professional help in like a more structured way instead of like just automatically going out into the world and being like, okay, I need to find a doctor. Like, and then those kids could like take their experiences back to their friends and say, oh, the guidance counselors really helped, that you should go talk to them, and like just push other people to go help themselves as well.
Yeah, for sure. Now, I think this is my favorite part for our podcast. What are some positive initiatives or changes that you have seen in your schools or committees taking place?
Equity committee.
Yeah, so we actually, I love Equity Committee. Um, I feel like we're making some great changes, like about raising awareness of different days of significance. We set up a calendar in the library, and students can stop by and look at what could be potentially happening on the day that they look at it. Um, and we also like plan events, and I don't
Going
know. There's lots of people trying to make change at our school, and it's really great.
going a little bit into more depth of what we've been doing at Equity Committee. Well, the calendar we were talking about, we call it the Equity Calendar. We It's in the school library, as Kelly said, and what we do is we have a DSBN Days of Significance calendar, and we just write down whatever is on that calendar onto our calendar. And the teachers say that people have been stopping by and uh, looking at everything and like reading it, and they seem interested, which is really, really great to hear. And another thing, more into the events we've been planning. On December 1st, it's World AIDS Day. So we did some research onto that. Well, one of our members did. And they found out that on World AIDS Day, or like when AIDS was a big problem, people would wear red or wear red bows, like the cancer ones, to show their support and reduce the stigma around patients with AIDS. So on December 1st, we implemented wear red, anything red day to show your support and like educate yourself on what happened.
Mm-hmm. That's amazing, especially the equity calendar. Like, it's a very good idea. So last but not the least, if you guys could share a message of encouragement to our listeners about supporting one another and taking care of themselves.
Yeah, fighting for the awareness and action of challenges students face is necessary for the school space to work for everybody. Um, so to the audience, as a friend, be sure to check up on others and offer to help when you can. If you are able to provide emotional support, help someone struggling with work, or introduce a lonely person to others, that will go a long way. And remember to take care of yourself too. We all need each other, whether you believe it or not.
If there's any injustice or stigma going around preventing you or your peers from getting help, address it immediately. Reach out to anyone, a trusted faculty or an adult that can help you. And like never put down your experiences or compare them to others. Mental health can take many, many different forms and have many different effects. What you are going through will be different from other people's experiences, and that's a okay. If you are suspecting something, have already been struggling with anything, or just want someone to talk to, always make sure you reach out. Your experience is valid and it deserves to be addressed.
That was amazing. I love that. So yes, thank you so much, Kaylee and Tanushree, for joining us today. It was, I think, an amazing episode. We covered some great points, and I hope people get the chance to deeply listen to them. But yes, thank you so much to our audience as well for joining us today. I'm sure you had a great time, and we'll see you next month for our next episode.